Picture this. You walk into a car dealership. The salesperson is friendly, confident, he knows exactly what he's doing. He slides a piece of paper across the desk and says, "What monthly payment works for you?" Not, "What is the total cost of this car?" Not, "Which option actually saves you the most money?" Just, "What monthly payment works for you?" And in that one question, a question that sounds helpful, you just lost thousands before you signed a single document. Because a monthly payment is not the number that matters, the total cost is, and most people never calculate it. If nobody ever showed you how to run these numbers before sitting across from a car salesperson, smash that like button, because this video could save you thousands on your next car. My name is Alex, and I break down how financial systems and money behavior shape real outcomes for real people. Today we're going to do something most car buying content never does. We're going to run the actual numbers on all four ways you can get a car: buying outright, hire purchase, leasing, and PCP. Rank them by total cost, expose the psychology the dealership uses against you, and give you a clear framework for making the right call for your situation. No opinions, just math. Let's go. Here's what actually happens when most people buy a car. They walk in with a monthly payment number in their head, not a total cost figure. The salesperson listens, nods, and then works entirely within that monthly payment to maximize how much flows to the dealership. Here's why this works so effectively on almost everyone. When you hear £30,000, your brain feels the weight of that number. When you hear $453 a month, it feels manageable, almost invisible. Same car, same money, completely different psychological experience. And dealerships have built their entire sales process around that gap. But here's what most people never find out. Car dealerships in the UK were receiving secret commission payments from finance companies, and the higher the interest rate they quoted you, the more commission they received. The regulator investigated, found it, and banned it. The system was designed to cost you money while appearing to help you. That's the environment you walk into. So let's arm you before you go. To compare these fairly, we're using the same car across all four options: a medium-sized family car. £30,000, same £4,500 deposit where applicable, same 3-year term. Apples to apples. Let's run it. Option 1, buying outright. The simplest option. You pay £30,000 on day one, no monthly payments, no interest, no contracts, no finance department. You drive away owning it completely. 3 years later, you decide to sell. A well-maintained 3-year-old family car realistically sells for around £16,000 on the used market, accounting for the fact that new cars typically lose 40 to 60% of their value within 3 years. £30,000 paid, £16,000 recovered, net cost around £14,000. That's the cheapest option on this list in pure total cost terms. But before you decide this is always the right move, there's something important to factor in. Imagine you have £30,000 in the bank. You use all of it to buy the car outright. Or you put down the £4,500 deposit, keep the remaining $25,500 and invest it. At a reasonable average annual return from a low-cost index fund, that $25,500 over 3 years could realistically grow to around $32,000. That's roughly $6,500 in growth on money that was sitting idle in the car. So the question is not just which option is cheapest, it's what's the best use of your capital right now. If you can earn more on that money than the interest you would pay on finance, keeping the cash invested and using finance can actually make mathematical sense. This is the opportunity cost calculation, and it changes the answer depending on your situation. I know what you're thinking. Alex, I don't have £30,000 sitting around. Most people don't, which is exactly why the other 3 options exist. Option 2, hire purchase. Hire purchase is essentially a personal loan attached to the car. You put down your £4,500 deposit, you borrow the remaining $25,500 at a fixed interest rate, you make monthly payments for 3 years, and at the end, the car is legally yours. At a typical hire purchase rate of around 11% APR, your monthly payment on this car comes to approximately $810 per month. Over 3 years, that's around $29,160 in payments plus your $4,500. Total paid approximately $33,660. Sell the car for $16,000 at the end, and your net cost for 3 years of driving is around $17,660. That's $3,600 more than buying outright, but it required no large upfront capital commitment. And here's something most people on hire purchase never know. After paying 1/3 of the total amount due, you have a legal right to hand the car back and walk away with no further penalty. It's written into UK consumer credit law, and most dealerships will never mention it. That's a legal exit option that gives you flexibility you simply don't have with other finance products. Let's slow down. Option 1, buy outright, net cost around £14,000 after resale. Cheapest on paper, requires full capital upfront. Run the opportunity cost calculation on your spare capital before choosing between them. Option 2, hire purchase, you own the car at the end. Legal exit clause included after 1/3 paid. Higher monthly payments but lower total cost than PCP. 2 more to go, and this is where the dealership's favorite products come in. Option 3, leasing. Leasing is the simplest to understand once you use the right analogy. Leasing a car is like renting a flat. You pay every month to use it, you keep it in good condition, at the end of the contract, you hand back the keys and walk away. No ownership, no asset, just transportation for a fixed period. And here's why the monthly payments are so much lower than hire purchase. With hire purchase, you're paying off the full value of the car because you'll own it. With leasing, you're only paying for the portion of the car's value that depreciates while you have it. A $30,000 car worth $16,000 in 3 years has depreciated $14,000. You're financing that $14,000, not the full $30,000. With the same $4,500 deposit and 3-year term, lease payments on this car come in at approximately $345 per month. Over 3 years, $12,420 in payments plus the deposit. Total cost approximately $16,920. Since you don't own the car, there are no resale proceeds. Net cost approximately $17,000. That's actually cheaper than hire purchase. But there are 2 restrictions that can quickly change that calculation. Lease come with annual mileage limits, typically between 8,000 and 12,000 miles per year. Go over that limit and you pay a per mile charge at the end. If you drive 15,000 miles a year on a 10,000 mile contract at even 15 pence per mile, that's $750 extra every year, $2,250 over the full term. Suddenly, your $17,000 lease becomes a $19,250 lease. You also need to return the car in good condition. Beyond normal wear and tear, you'll be charged. Leasing is the right option for lower mileage drivers who maintain the car carefully and never want the hassle of selling. It's the wrong option for high mileage drivers or anyone who likes to modify their vehicle. Option 4, PCP, the most sold and the most misunderstood. PCP, personal contract purchase, this is the one that requires the most attention because PCP is simultaneously the most popular car finance product in the UK, representing roughly 75% of all new car finance agreements signed every year, and the option most likely to cost you more than you realize. Here's how it works. You pay your deposit, the finance company sets a guaranteed minimum future value, essentially what they predict the car will be worth at the end of the contract. You make monthly payments on the difference between the car's current price and that future value. And at the end, you have 3 choices. Return the car, pay the future value and keep the car, or use any equity above that future value as a deposit on your next vehicle and start the cycle over. Now the numbers on the same car. $30,000 car, $4,500 deposit, future value set to $15,000. At just under 11% APR, monthly payments come in at approximately $453 per month. That sounds far better than $810 for hire purchase, but here's where the math turns uncomfortable. If you return the car at the end, total cost approximately $20,800. That's nearly $4,000 more expensive than leasing for exactly the same outcome. You return the car and walk away. If you keep the car by paying the $15,000 future value, total cost approximately $35,800. That's more expensive than hire purchase, where you also end up owning the car. So, PCP with return is worse than leasing, PCP with purchase is worse than hire purchase. In both scenarios, PCP is not the cheapest option. But here's what makes it so psychologically effective. The lower monthly payment of $453 versus $810 feels like a significantly better deal in the moment, and the pre-agreed future value creates a trap at the end of the contract. When your contract finishes, many people feel it's easier to start a new PCP than to pay off the $15,000 balance, not because it's the better financial decision, because the monthly payment has become the only number they ever focused on. This is the repeat transaction cycle the regulator identified, and it benefits the dealership far more than it benefits you. I know what you're thinking. Alex, but sometimes dealers offer special rates or contributions that make PCP cheaper. Is that worth considering? Sometimes, yes. Manufacturers' subsidized rates can genuinely improve the numbers. The rule is simple. Always count the total cost of every exit scenario, return, keep, or part exchange. Then compare that total to leasing and hire purchase. If PCP wins on total cost, great. Sign it with full knowledge. If it does not, you now know exactly why the dealership was recommending it. Recap Pause 2. Here is the full picture so far. Option 1, buy outright. Net cost around $14,000. Cheapest. Requires full capital. Option 2, hire purchase. You own the car at the end. Legal exit clause included, higher monthly payments but lower total cost than PCP. Option 3, leasing. Lower monthly payments, no ownership. Cheaper than PCP if you plan to return the car. Watch the mileage limits. Option 4, PCP. Most sold, rarely cheapest. Structure designed to encourage repeat transactions. Always run the total cost comparison. 3 psychological traps: monthly payment illusion, status signaling, and the PCP loyalty cycle. Know them before you walk in. Best overall value? 2 to 3-year-old pre-owned vehicle. Someone else paid the depreciation, you keep the savings. Final recap, rapid fire. Let's lock it in. The dealership's primary tool is the monthly payment. Never decide based on monthly payments alone. Always calculate total cost. Option 1, buy outright. Net cost lowest after resale. Best for people with capital who keep cars long-term. Option 2, hire purchase. You own the car at the end. Legal exit clause after 1/3 paid. Higher monthly payments but lower total cost than PCP. Option 3, leasing. Lower monthly payments, no ownership. Cheaper than PCP if you plan to return the car. Watch the mileage limits. Option 4, PCP. Most sold, rarely cheapest. Structure designed to encourage repeat transactions. Always run the total cost comparison. 3 psychological traps: monthly payment illusion, status signaling, and the PCP loyalty cycle. Know them before you walk in. Best overall value? 2 to 3-year-old pre-owned vehicle. Someone else paid the depreciation, you keep the savings. The car you drive doesn't build your wealth. The decision you make about how you pay for it might quietly drain it. Every month, for 3 years, without you ever noticing. The dealership walked you through their numbers. Now, you have yours. The difference between being stuck and being free is not income. It's behavior repeated quietly over time.